Here are a few questions. This is an interesting one from Lalit Sharma. He has got a problem with the freebies policy. What he says is, see, if we give freebies rather than a social security framework, the easy money takes away unskilled and semi-skilled manpower from the ecosystem and raises the cost of manpower for industries. So I think he's talking about the MG and NREGA.
Yeah, Manrega.
So
Yeah.
he is the
Now it's called G Ram G. Yes.
GS, right.
Yeah.
So he is objecting to that. He says the freebies are not good. So do you have a comment on that?
So 2 points over here. Number one, if you look at G Ram G, especially the restructuring which happened last year, Manrega has moved from being a program which used to do, for example, fix a road, see it getting washed out the next monsoon, fix it again, pay the people again, do it, go back to zero, do it again, go back to zero. So it was probably, I would say, closer to what Lalit is speaking about in terms of freebie. Although technically it's not a freebie, you are being paid for your labor. A freebie, I would say, would be getting a washing machine in Tamil
Can I
Nadu.
can I give a clarity? Can I give a
Yeah,
clarity, Anuj? So this is regarding the Ladli Behan, the Mahila Vikas, the electoral SOPs, which even TVK
I think you're
government.
frozen, Lalit.
Uh,
No, it's okay. Just go ahead, Lalit, briefly.
Yeah. So if you think about all these the Ladli Behens and all those the unemployment 1,500 2,000 rupees. G Ramji, I totally agree with you. It's not a freebie. It's a basically payout against a work 200 days or 180 days minimum. I totally agree on that. But that also takes away the unskilled and skilled labor from the whole ecosystem out, and the minimum wages are increasing to 21 to 25,000 and all those kind of things, which is making SMEs a little bit tougher to get the things. But the real problem is these very 1,500 or 2,000 rupees to the ladies that are being offered in all elections, which make the last mile boys, the Zepto, Zomato manpower more easily available because their households are being taken care of and they are not coming into the mainframe of the structured jobs for the industries. So that is where the gig worker economy is booming more and more because of the freebies. That I'll put it like.
Yeah. So I'll get to the point here. I think what you're trying to ask is that should the government be giving these kind of freebies or not? Now I have a specific viewpoint over here. This is my personal view that I always believe that people should be given the choice to determine what they want to do with their life, with their resources, etc., rather than the government deciding how it should be spent. So what we have seen over the course of last few years of a lot more direct benefit transfer, giving cash to people, letting them figure out, do they want to spend that money on education, on health, maybe better makeup, maybe I am taking a very real example, maybe spending more money on gutka, anything. But who are you to judge what the other person is doing? I think the other underlying fear which you have, a lot of people have in this entire construct is that will it bankrupt the government? Right? It's all about money. Okay, why are you spending so much money? We have to understand the structure of public finance in India to get this better. We have an act in India called Fiscal Responsibility and Budgetary Management Act. The way the act has been defined, and if some of you would have read the Constitution, one of the articles of the Constitution says that if any state has borrowed even a single rupee from Government of India, then for borrowing even an additional extra rupee, they have to get permission from Government of India. So the fathers of the nation very critically thought about how can we retain the federal structure and the fiscal sanity of it, wherein if you take some resources from government of India, then you are almost, I would say, beholden to them, which will ensure that you are able to pay back, etc., etc. Based on that article of the Constitution, It's called, I think, Article 219, if I'm not mistaken. Based on that article, a Fiscal Responsibility and Budgetary Management Act says that your state's deficit can only be up to 3% of your GSDP, your state GSD. I think everybody understands GDP equivalent of a state. So that's the hard limit which the state has. Now, because of that, what happens is, if Vijay has to decide that, do I give 3,000 rupees to women, every woman, versus do I build better roads? Do I build better electricity supply? Do I incentivize a global company to come to Tamil Nadu and invest? I think he has that portfolio of choices available to him, and he can do that trade-offs. That, okay, 50% money I will put this way, 20% here, 20% here, 10% here. He does not have unlimited budget. There are limits on it, which is why the system has checks and balances. I'll give you another example. Again, going back to power sector. Sorry for that. Power and your roadways are two of the worst sectors in a state. State roadways buses are, frankly speaking, pathetic, right? State electricity supply, you know how it is. Why is it so? Why is conditions so bad in some of these sectors? The reason for that is that these sectors in most of the states are what is called off balance sheet items.
Yes.
So when the power distribution company loses money, it does not get counted as part of the state budget. So what we as citizens have to demand is that all these off-balance sheet liabilities and items should be counted towards the state budget. State should include everything they promise and actually give that. The problem which comes, and I would say that the more severe problem, like what you see in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party promised that they will give certain amount of money to every woman. Nearly 4 years have passed. They have not done that. I think it is unfair to the electorate. If you have promised it, you should do the calculation before you get into power that, okay, I'm promising this is the share of the budget, this is how I'll cut down on something else, which is not efficient. I'll cut down on, say, bureaucrat salary, hiring all those people, I'll cut down on my own travel, whatever you have to do. But if you have made a promise to people, you better live up to it. And I think Indian people are very smart. Whenever they see that people are not living up to that promise, they strike them down pretty fast.